All right. Best Conversations podcast. Oh, man. Where we talk to legends, where we get into this hip hop stuff, to the hip hop journeys, where we chronicle hip hop voices in the community that definitely need that light. And on the line today, I got another pure MC, a legend, your favorite ghost rapper's favorite ghost rapper. Let's say that. And if you see him, you probably know him. First time on Best Conversations podcast, Mad Skillz. What's up, my brother?
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I really appreciate, you jumping on the line, man. I've been a huge fan ever since I first seen you on the screen with Missy and Timbaland, and most people know you probably from the wrap ups, but I mean, I remember that first album. What was it called? Where From? Say it again.
Where?
From Where? Yes, exactly. I remember all that back then, but most people remember, with the wrap ups and stuff. But if people don't know, man, give the people a little brief bio that might be living under a rock. These millennials that might not be up on who Mad Skillz is.
Oh man, just a kid from Virginia, um, rapper, DJ, um, songwriter. You know what I'm saying? I put out an album in '96. Yeah, I put out an album in that they quote unquote say put Virginia on the hip hop map. I guess I was probably one of the first. I think I was the first artist to come out nationally from the city or the state. So yeah, if you know Virginia and you know hip hop, then probably my name will get dropped in that mix somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Somewhere in there. And Virginia Beach could be Virginia Beach, or what part of Virginia?
Actually.
Virginia Beach. Word. Something in the water.
Yeah. Missy and Tim and all them, they from down there by the water. I'm from inland, a little more in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, near Richmond. Word. You any ties to the Carolinas? That's why I'm from the Carolinas. Any ties to the Carolinas?
Fayetteville, actually.
To the Ville. Word.
I'm from Fayetteville. My whole childhood was spent in Fayetteville.
Stop playing. That's nuts.
Grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I lived all over Fayettille, like off of Murchison Road. I went to shit. I might have went to every school in Fayetteville.
71st, Douglasburg, Southview.
E.E. Smith. I used to live by E.E. Smith. I used to live down the street from Fayetteville State. I went to Seabrook Rec. Like Bonnie Doon. Like I was all through Fayettille. I left Fayettille in like '87, I want to say, and I moved to Richmond.
Wow, man. See, that's a jewel right there. People that follow my I grew up about an hour from Fayettille. You ever heard of Rayford? Yeah. So after Rayford is another little town called Wagram, North Carolina. And that's where I grew up. So going to Fayettille was like everything to me, like everything, like going to Fayettille, because I'm from a small ass town. So going to Fayettille was like everything. And so, yeah, Fayettille people definitely rep hard. North Carolina rep hard, man. So when we first got J. Cole to come out, man, we was like, we won, my brother. So, man, that's dope that you got ties to the Carolinas, man. So let's go back, man. What was your introduction to hip hop?
I'll probably say Run-DMC.
Run-DMC, word.
Word.
What album?
Well, it wasn't even an album. It was Hard Times. I heard Hard Times and Sucker MCs. I want to say on the radio. It was a dude on the radio in Fayetteville named Don Reed. He used to do he used to do the radio, and I remember hearing Run-DMC. That was the first time I heard it. You know what I'm saying? I might have heard Sugar Hill or whatever before that, but the first thing that kind of really spoke to me was Run-DMC, and then I seen him on TV.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Saw him on television.
And that's early 80s?
85, maybe. 84. I seen him on TV. And when I saw him on TV, it was like, yo, I was remember looking at Run. I was like, yo, I look like that, like skinny, lanky, you know what I'm saying? The sideburns, like, I was like, yo, like, that's crazy to me. And it was something that it just spoke to me. Like, I gravitated towards it immediately.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Damn, 85. Man, I was born in 85, so shit. I mean, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm 35, but you know, I probably wasn't really up on hip hop till like probably like 90, 92, 93. Like, my first remembers of hip hop was like MC Hammer and shit like that.
You was in the early 90s.
Yeah. You know,
shit, like,
yeah, like and like Snoop and shit like that. And I remember seeing like Snoop and Dre on Arsenio Hall and shit like that. So yeah, that was probably like my first introduction to hip hop. So they say they say that again.
By then I was knee deep in it. I was already in it by then. Like, I was trying to figure it out.
Word. So when do you pick up the pen? What year, what age you pick up the pen?
Probably around 90. You know what I'm saying? It's when I started writing my own lyrics. Around 91 is when I started taking it serious, and realizing that, you know, I gotta, this might be my thing. Like, I get, you know, and I tried everything in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was a true lover of hip hop back in the days, you tried to do everything. I tried to write graffiti. I used to break dance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to scratch on records or whatever. But rapping was the first thing that I did where I actually got like a response. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, around 90, 91, I started writing down my own lyrics and just, you know, trying to find my way.
What was the hip hop scene in Richmond and Virginia in 90? Was it somebody out already, kind of locally, kind of doing it? What was the scene?
A couple local cats that was out. It was a guy, rest in peace. He just passed away last year. This year, this guy named MC Ruff was like the first. He came to high school assembly, and you know, it was a radio station, an AM radio station called WKIE that used to play like all of the rap. So they was playing the Fat Boys and Houdini, you know what I'm saying, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. So, you know, I would hear those voices, those guys that was on there every day, and then one day, I want to say the Fresh Fest came to Richmond. And the artists like split up and they went to like different high schools.
Mm-hmm.
So, Flavor Flav from Public Enemy and the Fat Boys, I want to say, came to my high school. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? The guys that would actually talk on the radio, the guys that was doing that had the show, they was called the Z-Rock crew. El Bravador, MC Fresh, you know what I'm saying, Sarah J, they were like gods to us, you know what I'm saying, because they was connected, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, once I saw that, man, like, I was like, yo, like, I could really do this. Like, this could be something. And I kept pursuing it.
So how does a guy from Richmond, Virginia, living in Richmond, Virginia, like, and I know, you know, everything's coming, you know, a lot of shit's coming through I-95, you know, everything hip hop's coming through I-95, but how do you think, how was your mindset of getting a deal? How did you pursue trying to get a deal back then?
I never really thought about it. I just thought that, you know, I could like be known in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started rapping and I became known in my neighborhood, then that was the first step. And then after that, I wanted something more. I was like, all right, well, I want to be known, you know, on this side of town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to be the hottest rapper on the north side of town. And then that happened, and I felt like I achieved that. And then after that, I was like, all right, I want to be the best rapper in the city.
Mm.
And then it just kept getting bigger. I want to be the best rapper in the state. So I say around, I was in a couple of groups with a couple different guys, friends, and people who weren't taking it as serious as me. I would kind of just lead them to the wayside and keep pushing. But I was around people that was doing what I was doing. So after that, I just started pushing, and then one day I got a Source magazine, and I seen this it was like an invitation for a battle, like a battle of rapper, a MC battle for world supremacy, and they was like sending a minute acapella of you rapping on the tape, and I sent it in, and they called me back, and next thing I know, I was in New York, like battling.
Wow, that's crazy. Was that your first time going to New York?
No, I had been maybe like once or twice before. Capacity, just family trips or whatnot. But tourist type stuff. But this is the first time I had been in that capacity.
So what happens at the battle? Take me through the battle. What happens?
The battle ended up being the New Music Seminar Battle for World Supremacy put on by Clark Kent and Superman Inc. So I had been sending demos to, various record labels, like Loud Records and, what I'm saying, Def Jam and, anywhere I saw, I was sending the thing. So I get there and everybody I had ever sent a tape to was in that room.
Wow. Leo Cohen, the guy that run Loud, I forget his name, but yeah, the white guy. Steve Rifkin, yeah.
And the battle is being judged by Tracy Waples, young Sean Combs. I want to say Dame Dash was there.
Wow.
Lester from Rap Pages and Todd Warren from Yo MTV Raps. And it was hosted by Dr. Dre. It's on YouTube, actually. I put it on YouTube, the battle.
Wow.
So I'm in this battle, and it was this one dude that I met like right before it started, and just his energy was just different. And I was like, yo, I was like, he gonna be the one. Like, this gonna fuck around and end up being me. Watch this shit. And it was this girl that I was cool. I was talking to her the whole time. We had went and got sodas and drinks together and shit. And I was like, I really don't want to have to go up against her. Then they called me and her. I ended up having to battle her. And so I'm running through everybody. And then I get to this last dude who he had been running through everybody. His name was Supernatural. And it was a hard fought. That shit was like every time you thought somebody had it, it was like somebody else would come back with something crazy. It was you know what it was? It was like an earlier but without all the street shit, but it was like an earlier Beanie Siegel Jadakiss.
Woo! Crazy.
Drop something, you like, yo, Kiss just body that nigga. That shit over.
And then here comes Siegel.
Yo, this nigga like he ended up winning, and I ended up getting second place. But I was super pissed about it because it turned into like I feel like it turned into like a where you from kind of thing.
Were you coming off the dome, or was you had prepared raps?
It was prepared raps and it was freestyles because he was super good at freestyle. He probably one of the best freestyles I ever seen in my life. Yeah, he ended up winning, and he got I want to say he got like a ring and a jacket, and it was a demo deal. And then they gave me the demo deal. He was like, I'll give him the demo deal. I want the ring and the jacket. I wanted that ring and that jacket bad as fuck. So the demo deal ended up being with Clark Kent. Clark Kent gave me his number, and I went back to New York, I went back to Virginia, like, defeated or whatever, like, it was just whack. But everybody I had sent my tape to had seen me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, this dude's kind of dope. And then in the fall, that's when I started. I had met Q-Tip in that summer, And in the fall, I went and did Stretch and Bobbito with Q-Tip. And that's when everything changed. I did this freestyle on Stretch and Bobbito. And the next day, it was almost like going viral. The next day, everybody was like, "Yo, who is this nigga?"
Mm. And was it Mad Skillz then? Was it Skillz Mad?
Yeah.
Word.
You heard somebody rap from Virginia and sound like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely sound like I was East Coast influenced. So
right.
Nas and Biggie and you know what I'm saying, like Black Moon and shit. So I didn't sound like I was from Virginia, but I wanted people to know, like, you know, we got a hip hop scene here too. Like we just like y'all. You know what I'm saying? So on a smaller scale, of course, but you know.
Do you consider yourself, you know what I mean, Virginia's one of the weird places, weird as in a lot of East Coast based, but you kind of South. Like, would you call yourself a Southern artist?
I would just call myself an East Coast artist because we right in the middle of the East Coast. But it was an amazing melting pot because of the schools. The people that came to the schools were all from different places. So when the DJs would do parties for the college kids, you know, you might play some East Coast boom bap shit, and then you get some kids from Georgia like, yo, man, play some of that Outkast, man, play some of that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, that MC Sade, like, you know, all right, I play that shit too. Then you get other cats like, yo, man, play that go-go, nigga, like, we from DC though. So
Right.
you party and you would hear all of that music. So when we started going to studios and started creating music, we knew what we couldn't create because we knew what was already before us.
Right.
The reason why you got, you know, the Timbalands and the Neptunes, people of that nature being so original because they know they couldn't go in the studio and do what Dre had already did.
Right.
They couldn't go do what Primo had already did. You know what I'm saying? I can't do what Luke and them doing and, you know, down south, like, so we were forced to be creative. And I think that's the synergy and how you end up getting is Something in the Water here. Something in the Water was all of the shit that we were hearing.
Right.
You couldn't do New Jack Swing. Teddy Riley already did it.
Right.
So,
and then he finds his way to Virginia.
And he found his way to VA.
Word. Got you. So talk to me about how you eventually get the deal. Your first record deal.
I did a demo deal with Clark Kent and some of the songs, but like I said, once people saw me in that room, they started reaching out, especially after the Stretch and Bobbito freestyle. And shit, after that, it was like a bidding war. Like I had like 5 deals on the table.
Shit.
And I with Big Beat Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? And they had signed the only 2 hip hop groups. Well, they had 3 hip hop groups at the time. They had this group called Down South, which was, they had actually come out before me and they were from Virginia, but they had come out, Double X Posse,
mm-hmm.
and they put me on an Artifacts remix for this song called Dynamite Soul. And after that, it was just like, this the new kid.
What's now I've seen Big Beat in several like when music videos like down in the credits and shit. What is Big Beat Records? I always wanted to know that.
It was a subsidiary of Atlantic Records.
Okay.
It used to be a house label.
Okay.
Owned by Craig Kalman, who was turned into the head of Atlantic. But yeah, Big Beat was like almost like a slash, you know what I mean? It's no different than when you saw like So Def / Columbia.
Okay.
You know, it happened to be owned by a guy that was already in the Atlantic system.
Another hip hop question. I always wanted to know, what was East West Records? I don't know if you had any connections to that, but I used to always see that with Timbaland and Missy and Aaliyah. What's East West?
Subsidiary of Elektra Records, which was run by Sylvia Rome. And I think East West and Elektra had a lot of people over there like Merlin Bob, Jay Brown.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think DOS Effects was on East West Records.
Word.
It's funny because they got discovered in Virginia too. They went to.
Yeah, that was one of those things I used to always see, like, especially on the Leah video, East West. I'm like, what is that? Because I was like, is that Tim? I'm like, I used to think like, is that Timbaland's imprint or what is that?
I think it was the imprint that they ended up going with. Once they got deals of their own imprints, Timbaland had it was B Club.
B Club. I remember B Club with Bubba Sparks and all that later on.
Goldmine.
Yeah, Goldmine. I see that all the time.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, so you get the deal. What's some of the MCs you running into early '90s? The Biggies, the Pacs, all these, you rubbing shoulders with them guys.
When I started with Big Beat, I was already running with a Tribe Called Quest because Q-Tip actually discovered me. Like Q-Tip found me.
Word.
I was already in New York running, you running the Organized Confusion, you know what I'm saying? Big L, you know, in the crates, leaders of the new school, you know what I'm saying? Cellar Dwellers. I'm running into a lot of up and coming artists, but you got to understand, I'm running into people that are legendary now, but they was up and coming then. You know what I'm saying? You run into the Wu-Tang Clan. And it was just a synergy in New York that was a vibe around it because that was the place to be. You know what I'm saying? Like young Jay-Z. You know, I watched Jay-Z outside of that same battle. And I think I put that on it's on my Instagram. I watched Jay-Z outside of that battle, like running through niggas on the street corner. Like, and I'm watching signed artists like with platinum plaques. Look at that nigga. Listen to him for like a couple minutes. Like, yeah, nah, I'm going to get in the car. Like, I don't want no problems with that nigga.
Yeah, with the fast rap.
Yeah. Killing niggas.
That's crazy, man. So you get your deal. Did you feel like you was rich? When you signed your deal, did you feel like you was rich?
I feel like I'm gonna change the world. You know what I'm saying? As far as money wise, it was a good deal. I spent a lot of money. I moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved to New York to record the album because there really wasn't even no studio like that in Virginia. And most of the production, you know, from my first album was producers from New York. You know what I'm saying? Clark Kent, Buck Wild, the Beat Nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like people like that. So, I was just on a hunt for the best beats and to try to make something dope. But I was running through New York like, yeah, those were the days, man. Just having a good time and just making music.
All right. What do you remember about your very first music video?
Oh, I remember fighting to tell them that we had to shoot it in Virginia.
Word.
And it was something that, you know, the whole city came out for. The radio promoted it. Like, and I wanted the city to be able to see themselves, you know, in a positive light. So we shot it in VA.
In Richmond?
Richmond, yeah.
Word.
When that shit came on, like when that shit hit, it was like we all made it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know, after me would look at me and say like, you know, I remember Malice from the Clips. He had said he was like, yo, the first nigga I ever seen that from here that actually made it like on TV, like rap, that was Mad Skillz. Like that was the first dude I was like, oh shit, he from Richmond. They like, yo, he from Richmond. Like, so, you know, it gave a lot of hope to a lot of people in the city just to be able to look on BET Rap City and see us. Mm-hmm. You know, that was unheard of back then. You know what I'm saying? And you was either from the West Coast,
right,
or down south. Like, and even I was having trouble at the time. You know what I'm saying? Outkast was like, damn, y'all don't fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? they hadn't made it. They hadn't got that far yet. I think they might have dropped a single. They hadn't even dropped the album yet.
Word. So 96, your first album come out. What do you remember about your release date? I mean, I know that had to be a special day, man, almost like your birthday or something.
Probably the biggest thing I remember from it is probably it being the worst day that I ever could have came out. Cause now that I look back in hindsight, it was they had delayed it so long. Like the album was ready for like a whole 9 months. And then they, we don't have enough momentum behind it. We need to drop another single. So I dropped on February 6th, 1993, February 13th, 1996, the same day as All Eyes on Me and The Score. I'm like, how the fuck do y'all expect me to sell any records? Like this one nigga got a double album. This
right.
Next group is probably the biggest thing in hip hop. Now I will say this, like it sold a lot in Virginia, you know what I'm saying? But shit, in those days, if you was walking into a record store and you was going to get like 1 or 2 CDs, you was gonna get Pocket, you was gonna get the Fuji.
Exactly. Especially that Fuji shit went on to sell like 10 million or some shit like that. And I think All Eyes on Me did about the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? So I will say this. On that day, you was in the record store that day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you gonna buy my shit though, but it ended up working out well because I still share a legendary release date. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember doing like any in stores that day, like radio, all that?
I did it, man. We was all over the city. I think we even went down to where Missy and them from. We went to Virginia Beach and did some stuff down there. Like people definitely knew that the album was out, and in the state they definitely supported
it. Any features on the album? I'm looking at the track list. Was there any features?
It wasn't a lot, you know what I'm saying? I had my crew on there for sure. I had a song with Q-Tip and Large Professor. I don't even think we put that on the album because the song was called Skillz in 95. So no. That was produced. I definitely had Q-Tip and Extra P on the album. It was called Extra Abstract Skillz. Yeah, man, just my crew, you know what I'm saying? And I had Q-Tip on the album. I had the Extra P. So I was good. I had stellar production. You know what I mean?
The production is crazy. Buck Wild, Q-Tip. I mean, Clark Kent. The production is definitely crazy. And I remember being in the Carolinas, and I had a cousin that's like 10 years older than me. He was like, I just remember him outside watching his car bumping it, and I was like who that? He like, you never heard of Skillz? I was like, nah. And he just sat me down and played it, and I was like, yo, this nigga is a true lyricist to the most. But but back then it was so much big shit going on. Like you had to be like a real head to even, say that again.
Going on back then, man.
A lot going on in 96. So tell me, how does the Missy Timbaland connection, how does that eventually happen?
I went back to VA after I finished the album. It was kind of in a weird place. Like it wasn't a commercial success. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm back to square one. You know what I'm saying? Like the label had signed Junior Mafia. So, because in between that time,
they were on Big Beat too. Yeah, I remember that.
Fuck up. So whatever Biggie and them wanted to do, like Biggie got his own label over there. He was gonna put out Junior Mafia. So all of the attention and the money like shifted towards JM. So I was back in VA, just chilling, and I ran into Magoo at a concert. He was like, yo, what you doing? I was like, yo, man, I'm back in Richmond, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure this shit out. This, that, and third. He's like, you ain't got no deal? I was like, nah. He was like, how the fuck you don't got no deal? I was like, yeah, nah, man. I told him to let me go. Like, they on their Junior Mafia shit. Like, I'll find something else. I'm cool. Like, nah, I gotta introduce you to Tim. Fuck that. Like, you gotta meet Tim. So I was like, okay. So I met him at a pub at a No Way Out concert at the Richmond Coliseum. Missy and Timbaland came down to the Puff Daddy concert, and you know, it's backstage, me, Locks, Black Rob, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just chilling, shooting dice and shit, Stevie J, like. And I met Tim, and he was like, yo, come to the studio tomorrow. And I was like, all right, fuck it, bet. So I rode down there. I met him. We did like 6 songs, like the first day I met him. So he was like, yeah, nah, I need you on the team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, all right, bet. So after that, I just started running with him. And then that turns into, you know, me becoming Missy's hype man.
I remember that.
Going with Missy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how it started though. It was through Magoo.
Word. Have you heard of them before the initial meeting? Have you heard of Missy? I know Missy was doing a lot of behind the work stuff with Bad Boy and stuff like that. And I know and Timbaland was down with the cat from like Jodeci and shit like that.
They had a Leah cracking at the time.
Yeah, Leah cracking at the time. Correct. Right.
1 in a Million, you know what I'm saying, 4-page letter, Hot Like Fire and all that shit. So Missy and Tim was heating up. They did the whole Aaliyah album. And I want to say Player was around in those days, you know. So yeah, it definitely turned into a cohesiveness between all of us where we was just learning from each other. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. And what year is the first wrap up? What year is that? 2002?
2002, I did the first wrap up over Common's Come Close.
Come Close. Oh, that was such a dope record. Man, it I don't know why it seemed like that shit. I mean, I don't know why it seemed like that shit started like the 2000s, like 2099, because like ever since, like, I just always remember them shits. Like after Christmas, niggas is waiting on the wrap up every year, man.
It was the first time I did it, and then it just took on a life of its own.
How would you, you know, this is pre-internet, like pre getting it to everybody. Like, how would you get this song to every radio station across the country? Because I was living in Fayetteville area at the time, growing, and how would you, I mean, do this in probably December, and then this shit is on every radio station? Like, how does that happen?
Well, back then it was, I want to say the first time I started doing it, the internet was, you know, it was a tool. But you know, you would be in like chat rooms and shit. It was different. You might have your favorite website, your OK Player, or you know, your whatever.com. And they had chat rooms. Mm-hmm. So it was discussion. Then it was sneakers, and then it was like music. So I had a site. My homeboy Danger Mouth had a site called Danger Zone, and a lot of people knew that, you know, after we did the Aaliyah remix, they're like, okay, this is where the Super Friends be at. You know, this is where they drop their music at. So I would put it out there, but in an MP3 format. But what I realized is that after a while, like that became the one song I ain't have to call no DJs and ask them to play that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Call me. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like, I guarantee you, like, what's today? Like October 12th or some shit. Mm-hmm. Like by December 1st, my phone gonna ring and it'll be a program director, like that I ain't even get my number to.
Right.
Like, can I give you Skillz? Yeah, who that? Oh man, it's Reggie Reg, man, from Z10 da 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 da. I got your number from whoop de whoop de whoop. Yo, you know, I'm just checking, man. You know, and I'd be like nigga, like, can I call you? And say, yeah, what's up, man? It's Skillz. I got a new record, man. You like, yeah, that ain't how this go, man. Like, you need to go through the proper channel. So it's like, you know, it is that thing where, you know, people look for it and they expect it, but it's like, damn, like, can I live? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is what the, you know, what people know you for, man. I
created this, and you know, and I remember one time I was talking to my manager, like, And he was like, yo, like I was having issues with it, and I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. He's like, what you mean? I like, bro, I don't want to be like fucking 50 in like Vegas, like nigga doing wrap ups. And he goes, nigga, if you in Vegas at 50 rap, is that bad?
Exactly.
It depends on how you look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, the song has become, you know, it's like a staple. You know what I'm saying? It's so, you know, I do realize the fact that I created something and people want it and they want it from me. You know what I'm saying? And they come to expect it. And I just didn't realize how far that went. You know, I remember one year I said, I was like, yo, I'm off this shit. I'm not going to do
I
it.
remember that shit.
And this dude hit me and he was like, he's like, yo, man, like, I see you not doing the song this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to tell you, like, I appreciate all the years that you've done it. This, then the third. He was like, yo, I have a, you know, the same way you got a ritual, like I got a ritual. And I was like, well, what's your ritual? He was like, yo, my son don't live with me. You know what I'm saying? He lived with his mom in Pennsylvania. So he was like, every year, you know, after Christmas away, he said, because, you know, he do his Christmas with me, like, around the New Year. I go after Christmas, stay up there for a couple of days, and on the drive down, we always listen to your song. And I was like, where? He was like, bro, he's 15 now. We've been doing this since he was 7 years old. Like, Richard. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I had to think about it in that aspect, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit means something to a lot of people. It ain't just a song. Like, people like, oh yeah, they're like, no, this shit, nigga, this shit, like, open up Christmas gifts. And after the 26th, we still eat and we make a plate. Everybody taking their gifts back. We waiting on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember mad Christmas rides going, listening to it 2 or 3 times a day, like from Fayetteville to Greensboro, like just that was the vibe. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like that was you, man. And I mean you laid your mark in hip hop forever, man. And they can't never take that away from you, man. Even if you try, Uncle Murder. It's it would always gonna be, it's always gonna be Skillz, man. I know you and Uncle Murder kind of played around with it a little bit. I know it ain't really that serious to you, but I mean, what was, I mean, I know you've answered the question before, but I mean, what was your take on, you know, him start doing his little wrap ups?
At first I didn't give a fuck because he wasn't the first nigga to try to do a wrap up. And you gotta understand, bro, like, I'm gonna tell you, this is when I knew that it was bigger than me. Like, and this shit started in like 06, 07. You know what I'm saying? I would, you know, because by now the internet is booming. You know what I'm saying? It's MP3s, download shit is booming. So I look up and YouTube is, you know, exploding. I look up and I'm like, yo, somebody did a UK wrap up? Like, okay, wow, like, okay, all right, damn, that's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? They'd be talking about what happened in the UK that year. I'm like, okay, dope. Then the next year, it was like an African wrap up. And then it was a Hong Kong wrap up. Like, bro, it's like a Jamaican wrap up. Like, so I was like, yo, this shit is bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would get YouTube, you know, comedians. I remember when Vine started, a couple Vine stars tried to do it. Like, bro, like, it was, I seen like fucking damn, what's that white lady from SNL?
Tina Fey?
Tina Fey did a fucking wrap up. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So when he did it, I wasn't really tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wasn't the first person to try to recreate something that I started. He was probably the first person to do it that ever said "fuck me" in the song.
Right.
So okay, well, that's a reach. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never rap over PSA by Jay-Z and go
Jay-Z.
introduce myself. Fuck Hove. Like, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? So then after, you know, and I'm not paying attention to it. I let them get away with the shit for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I would go to the barbershops and, you know, sit down and get it cut. And they was like, yo, man, what's up with that nigga, man? Like, yo, that nigga going like, so I would always hear a little chatter, but I never heard the song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to fucking World Star Hip Hop. Like, I don't fucking, like, I'm on a whole nother part of the world. Like, I'm not to that shit. So then the shit started picking up in New York. And, you know, it picked up in New York. And I remember Clark Kent called me one day. And Clark Kent tried to call me, because that's my OG. You know what I'm saying? You don't answer the call from your OG. So
Absolutely.
we was just talking about some, how are you, man? How the family? I said, oh, man, everybody good. You know what I'm saying? Talking and shit. And he was like, yo, so you know that's my man, right? And I was like, okay, Clark. Like, he was like, so I already told, first of all, I told him he bite. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just thinking, like, if y'all did this shit together, this shit could be crazy. I said, Clark, are you serious right now, nigga? It was a shot in the dark, and I guess, I don't know if he had Clark call me or Clark just did it on his own, but I just know that the call came. And I shot it down. I was like, I would never, like, at first, that nigga corny as fuck. Like, I said, yo, this shit corny. So I kept that shit in the I never said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple more wrap-ups where it was fuck me. And then I was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool on this shit. Like, I'm about to check the shit out of this thing.
And then you dropped that diss record, told the nigga he signed a G Unit 10 years too late.
It was I saw a clip of him, I want to say on like Ebro or some shit, and he DM'd me. And when he like, bro, he had said fuck Mad Skillz a couple times, and I did not trip. I was like, yo, what's the point of that? Like, what am I gonna get from that? I know I'm going to win that. So what's the point of it? And then he DM'd me, and I just lost it. Like, I was like, the nerve of this nigga. So when he DM'd me, like, yo, you know, I ain't mean to take your shit, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, you the PG version, I'm the R-rated version.
Fuck out of here.
I back and I was like, who this? Like, and I took a screenshot of the DM and I made that the cover.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want niggas to be like, yo, why Skillz doing this now? I wanted to be like, that's why he did it. So then I did a rap over like Murdergram. Because you know me, I'm a thinker. Like, I knew when I dropped that shit that the light on the wrap up was gonna be done. Because niggas love beef.
Right. Facts.
They don't want to hear, like, fuck the whole year. I want to hear you destroy this nigga. And you got to understand, at the time that I dropped that record, I just got a job as a professor at a college.
Wow.
So I'm at faculty meetings, and my phone is going ham like, yo, you killed this nigga.
Oh, you definitely destroyed him.
I'm like, this ain't, I did that shit for the culture, but I'm like, I'm in a different part of my life now, bro. I'm teaching hip hop at a college. Like, I don't want to be on the shade room. Like, that's not. So, but he had to get it.
Yeah.
You know, he deserved it.
Yeah, he definitely deserved that beating, man. So, you know, one of your, the people talks about the most about your career is you being the ghostwriter. You know what I mean? Even though you never give up any of the people you ever ghostwrite for, and I know you never will. But let's talk about how'd you get into ghostwriting, and it's a really a dope art. You know, able to, look at a rapper and say, I'm creating something for him to blow up.
It's it happened from a DJ was working on an album in the studio next to me, and I was he came in, he heard some of my shit. I came in, I heard some of his shit, and I played him one particular song. He was like, yo, what you doing with that? And I was like, yo, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna use it on my album or, it might be a freestyle put on a mixtape or something. She was like, yo, let me get that. And I'm thinking he wanted to get it for himself and have me on his project.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it to him. And then, he hits me back like a couple of weeks later or whatever. And he was like, yo, they recorded it. Check it out. And I'm like, who the fuck is they? Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I the record, and it's two other rappers rapping, and not my words, but definitely my flow, and they were saying my hook, and I was like, yeah, we'll put my verse back on the last joint, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna put somebody else on there, and I'm like, nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, nah, I want the record. You know what I'm saying? It still hadn't dawned on me that he wanted the record without me.
Wow.
Like, because I didn't fit the scape of what he was making. You know what I'm saying? At the time, it was some street shit. I wasn't even that kind of dude. So, then it dawned on me. I was like, all right, well, okay, cool. Like, so then we did the splits. I had already did the hook. They was already doing my flow, so I owned like a good percentage of the record. So when the record came out, the shit did well. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I started getting checks. And I was like, oh, yeah. So then people would ask him, like, where'd you get that song? He's like, yo, you know the dude Mad Skillz? Like, to be with Tim and like Missy? He's like, yo, he wrote that shit. So then the phone started ringing. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. And that's how it happened. Like, it happened from confusion. Like, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. I was like, you gonna take me off my shit? Like, but in hindsight, it was a very great decision.
Wow, crazy. I mean, I know Timbaland doesn't really consider himself a rapper per se, so I'm pretty sure you probably done help Timbaland and all that, help Timbaland with all his type of shit and and all that.
I helped a lot of people.
What do you say to people, Magoo being one of the worst rappers in hip hop?
One of the best people though.
I never until Charlemagne put that narrative out there like Magoo was one of the worst rappers. I never really even thought. I just thought he was just a cool rapper. I was like, just Magoo.
This ain't me because he introduced me to my friend. Like, I haven't talked to Magoo and we haven't talked in a while. You know what I'm saying? But I'll never forget what he did for me and how he introduced me to Tim. Like, I'm forever grateful to him for that. But he had his voice reminded you of Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? Who was a very, influential rapper. So when we talk about worst rappers of all time, like, and this ain't me being shady, this is me being real. So Silk the Shocker is better than Magoo?
Hold up. I love Silk the Shocker. I love Silk the Shocker. That was, Skillz. That was my guy. Maybe because it was the age bracket I was in, and when No Limit was at his apex. But I went and bought Charger to the Game and Made Men. Like, them was like some of the first albums I ever bought. And it wasn't until years later where people was like, boy, Silk the Shocker was a terrible rapper. And I used to be like, he was? I know the flow was very unorthodox, but I never thought Silk the Shocker was a terrible rapper.
Unorthodox, nigga. The flow won't never there.
Come on, Silk the Shocker wasn't that bad, bro.
Magoo. At least
I never thought Magoo was that bad.
Magoo stayed on beat.
I mean, how can you be that bad with a hit record though, Skillz? How you can't be that good with a hit record. Nah, yeah. I wouldn't put Silk the Shocker in that conversation of worst rappers of all time.
You saying that you can't be that bad? You can't be whack if you got a hit record.
Yeah, that's not true. That's definitely not true because especially around like the 06, 07 with like Jibs and what's the guy something hot. What's that dude name? What's his name? Yeah, yeah. He was terrible.
Ghetto Superstar was a hit record.
Yeah.
Versus
Mm-hmm.
rap one for me right now.
I can't. I mean, but my argument is, man, I always loved Silk the Shocker, man. That was my guy, man. I love Silk the Shocker. I'm always gonna stand up for Silk the Shocker. That was my guy, man. I didn't really start liking hip hop to like want to buy CDs until around 97, 98 when Jay-Z was popping and then No Limit was popping. That's when it made me want to start buying albums and shit. Like that was around the time when I really wanted to start buying albums and shit. So yeah, man, you got me off on a tangent. So let's talk about what you got going on today, man, with your new podcast. It's called Confessions. I remember this show when it first came out around the time when you dropped that classic album, $1 Million Backpack. Yes, I think of, and I don't even, and I always wonder like what happened to that show, man. That show was dope as fuck. I was always wondering whatever happened to that show.
Situation where I did it in 09, and I was like, yo, man, from having these conversations with friends and shit, there's a lot of shit that people still haven't told people, or just your opinion. You know what I'm saying? And it was a place where I could be in the room and I could be truthful around my friends because there won't be no judgment of this, that, and the third. So I started doing a show around it, and it would be insane for somebody to say, like, yo, like, bro, I just realized that fucking last year, like, nigga, I just realized that Shock G and Humpty Hump was like the same.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
To say that on film, you know what I'm saying, was crazy. So I'm doing this in 09. I did about six to seven episodes, and they was popping. We was putting them on YouTube. 8-10 minutes they wasn't long. And then I would have people tell stories, and then I just hit a wall. Like I would hit people up, and they would say, "Well, what is it again, Skillz?" And I would send them like, "Yo, here's the clip." Like, and he'll be like, "Man, I don't." I said, "Well, shit, I ain't gonna tell nobody that story." Well, damn, I ain't gonna say that. It's like people. I started finding people that it was hard for them to tell the truth.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, maybe this shit ain't gonna work because niggas still trying to be cool.
Right. Was there ever any talks to getting this? Because this would have been an amazing TV show. Was there any ever talks to making this a real TV show?
It was on MTV Jams. They used to play the shit between videos.
Oh, word. I didn't know it was on MTV Jams. I know E1 was behind it.
I mean, I was behind it. I just happened to be on E1.
Okay.
So my homeboy Tuma, who is now at YouTube, he used to play it at MTV Jams. Like it was getting traction. Like, and then I ran into that wall where I just couldn't find people that would want to be honest no more. And then, like, niggas so busy trying to be cool, they don't want to tell people that they, I might have did some fucked up shit. Or I might have had some fucked up shit happen to me in 2000. Like, didn't nobody want to tell no stories? So then I stopped. And then a year later, podcast happened. And I was like, I was too early.
Yeah.
It was a year too early. And from the time that it started, people was like, when you gonna bring Hip Hop Confessions back, bro? Because it's the shit that we say, but we don't say out in public, but it be true shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my Hip Hop Confession was, I had never listened to an Outkast album in my life.
Crazy. Which is nuts, Skillz.
I still have it in 2020. I still have it.
Why?
That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
First of all, like I told you earlier, I was heavily East Coast influenced.
Got you. So who's some of the people you fucked with down south though? Back
Yeah,
T.I., Kang, in my top 5.
Tip, Face. You know what I'm saying? I was always a Face artist. Ross wasn't around when we did that, but in the early '90s. But Ross is dope lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not too many.
One of my favorite episodes, because I had the same story of young Chris. I'd never heard of UGK before Big Pimpin'. That's probably one of my hip hop confessions too. I never knew who these guys was until Big Pimpin' came out. Never had no idea who they was.
Really?
Never, no idea. I mean, until 99, 2000, when Big Pimpin' explodes, I had no idea who UGK was. So, and me and Chris around the same age too. Like, so
Yeah.
I could definitely see how that happened.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Did you hear about UGK before then?
Not really.
Yeah. It's amazing that Jay-Z had the foresight to put them on a song that huge of people that didn't know him.
Them in like Source magazines because they was on Jive.
Mm-hmm.
They would get the same kind of publication, like, you know, love that Souls of Mischief would get or Too Short would get. I remember seeing their stuff, their ads. I would see ads on UGK. So I just never listened to the music. But it's a lot of music that I would flip. You know, I would look at ads of E40. Like, I would never listen to E40 back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what he meant to the Bay. You know what I'm saying? You know, now, of course, like, I've been able to be in those areas. But as a 90s dude coming up, like, I listened to what was streamed, like you said, what was coming up in now 95. Like, it had to be super important. And you know, New York was just so biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, when New York had it, everybody loved New York. But when it started going away from New York didn't love everybody.
Right.
And that would go to New York and they wouldn't get the same love. Like, damn, y'all niggas came to our hood, y'all came to our city, the whole city came, my niggas showed y'all love. We got an artist that we want to come back to the Mecca. And I think that's what fucked a lot of people up, because it's like, damn, like, we love y'all so much. You know what I'm saying? And y'all we whack to y'all. That shit corn, like, that shit whack.
Crazy.
At some point.
So what day, you know, podcast is so exploding now, man. So I'm so glad you brought it back. I remember I listened to the how many episodes is it now? 1 or 2?
When I'm about to put the second one up this week.
Yeah, so I listened to the first one. So when will the people be able to get these podcasts? Will it be weekly based?
At least probably every 2 weeks. But
every 2 weeks.
Like, what I like to do is, like, you know, I like to give people good content, and the fact that you can listen to it whenever you want to, like, that's the thing for me. When I upload it, y'all do y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just make sure that whatever I give you is some good content, because, you know, I think it still has a good space, and it ain't. It's when you come to me, when you come to my podcast, you might get the other shit that you get at other podcasts, but you can always get what was intended for you. And, you know, agree or disagree, it's always gonna be some shit that you didn't know.
Absolutely, and that's why I love it, man. Like, I'm a hip hop junkie, man. Like, I didn't know who Tracy Lee was before I didn't even know who he was. Like, that. The theme, the song, the theme went right past me. I never even heard it. I seen him. That's probably my hip hop confession right there. Like, I was binge watching Biggie interviews. Like, sometimes I get in this mode where I just want to watch, like, mad Biggie interviews, mad Tupac interviews, and he was like with Big Les when they was at the Crush on You video shoot, and it shot to him, Tracy Lee, and I'm like, who is he? And then at that point, I go back and watch all his interviews, and I didn't realize that he was out and all this. And then I reached out to him, and we got the podcast. So, yeah, man, people love those hip hop stories and the shit that we don't know. So your podcast is so well needed, and being a hip hop junkie like I am, I need it. Like, at this point, they're gonna be doing classes about hip hop, like what you're doing now, man. Like that's what we need, man, because somebody gotta teach these young kids, hip hop didn't start in 2010, 2015. Somebody have to tell them the stories, have to go all the way back for you can really know exactly what's going on in hip hop, man.
For sure.
Absolutely. So I thank you so much, man, for definitely for tapping in, man. I was looking at your Twitter, man. Somebody hit you, was like, man, Skillz, if you did a wrap up right now, man, I know that shit would be fucking crazy in 2020, not even over, man. Will there be a 2020 wrap up from you? This is probably one of the craziest years ever, man. I think you got to give us one.
Yeah. To be honest with you, bro, like I'm working on something right now for my man Jay Carter for the One Music Fest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they doing a virtual festival, and they commissioned me to do like a decade wrap up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Which will be easy because I can just go listen to my old shit and just pull out the top moments and redo it. So, but to be honest with you, bro, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, just as an artist, you know what I'm saying? As being a creative person, when I ain't feeling something no more, I stop doing it.
Absolutely.
Which is probably why I stopped rapping. You know what I'm saying? I might put out a song here and there, but I'm not sitting in the room trying to figure out, oh, I got to make a hot album in 2020 from Mad Skillz. Like, that's not where I'm at right now. So I've written down everything that, all of the key shit, you know what I'm saying? I've done it all. And every time I open it and I read it, bro, it's depressing. It's depressing. So it's like, for me to try to make, first of all, if I make the song, it ain't gonna be nothing funny and entertaining about it. It's gonna be depressing.
Absolutely.
It was depressing. So I'm like, do I really wanna go in a booth and do a whole depressing song just to give to niggas so they could be depressed all over again? Because ain't nothing in this song gonna be happy or
it's I mean, you could probably get a couple of funny Trump moments or something like that, but outside of that, shit's been fucking crazy.
That shit might be funny, but for the most part, bro, this year, we just trying to, I might not even go to sleep on New Year's Eve, nigga. I might just stay the fuck up, like, nigga, I just want to make it to 20.
Right.
And so for people saying, like, yo, you gotta do it, I'm like, you don't even know what you asking for, because you expecting what you always get, and it ain't gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? I might do the shit over the Young and the Restless theme, because the shit just sound depressing.
Oh my God! Well, you
always captures the times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it a try. I'll give it a valiant effort around the top of December. I'll go in and really try. But if that shit don't come out in a way that I feel like it represents me, like, we might have heard the last wrap up. Like, if it was today, if I had to do it today, it wouldn't happen. I cut off my Twitter, cut off my gram.
Because they're gonna be they on your ass on Twitter.
I cut off the replies, or either the replies will be there, but I'll log out. I'm taking that shit off my phone. I'm gonna enjoy my time with my family, because I can't even be around all my family. Like, the holidays is even gonna be whack. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, like, I might just holler. I might see y'all January 15th. Like, yeah, what's up?
Man, they definitely need it, man. How you been, before I let you go, man? How you been maintaining through this pandemic, and and what's your eyes of the world of everything going on with social injustice and all this other crazy shit, Corona and all that?
I think 2020 taught us a lot. You know what I'm saying? As far as to be appreciative of and grateful for the things that we do have. We were forced to be still for a while. You know what I'm saying? For some people, that was a good thing. For some people, it wasn't. I believe that it showed us that a lot of the shit that we have to do, we don't got to do. Like you don't have to go to work. Like you really can work from home. Like it's
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
as far as like the deaths and George Floyd's and the Breonna Taylor's, you know what I'm saying, Ahmaud Arbery's and the people that we've lost, like it's like this year was either gonna be a year of us really making a change, you know what I'm saying, and these statues getting torn down and these cities getting looted. It's just the voice of people that are oppressed. You know what I'm saying? I think the generation now it's different than the generation back then. Like they're not gonna let you get away with some of that shit. These kids put their lives on the line, and a lot of them have. You know what I'm saying? Something's got to change in this world for it to be better for our children and the generation after them. I'm just hoping that we don't get distracted and forget, what we really doing this for. Cause like if this motherfucker win this election, it's really gonna be depressed. It's almost like
that's like the knockout punch.
Knockout blow to where we'll be on the ground. And it's like you want to stand up, you want to get back up, you listen to the count, but you like, what I'm getting up for? Like, ain't nothing changing. You know what I'm saying? So to have to think about another 4 more years of this sort of unrest and people out here dying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was going through the airport the other day, and everybody got the mask on and shit, and it just dawned on me. I went and bought like some food, and I was like, damn, I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody smile. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, I'm a traveler, so I could be in the airport just people watching, just on my people watching shit, just sitting there with some chips, just looking at people. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at a kid playing with his tablet, smiling. I'm like, yo, I don't even get to see that no more. Forget being able to not hug people or touch people or give you just a pound. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even see people smile no more.
Because of the mask, man. That's crazy. That's nuts. When you think about it like that, that's nuts.
I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody smile that I didn't know. Like, that's a smile I see all the time, like my children or, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that I've been in quarantine with or whatever, but that shit is insane to me, bro. And I don't think we're gonna go to no concerts or go to no clubs. I don't think that shit coming back to this time next year, if that.
Not unless you're in the A.
But it's like it could all be taken away from us that quick if the case.
At any time, it all can be definitely taken away from us. And I definitely.
I think we're gonna go through a whole nother summer of no parties, no performances, no shows. I think we're gonna have a whole nother summer of that, bro.
Damn, don't say that, Skillz. A whole nother summer?
I don't think they're gonna.
I think we lost Mad Skillz. Okay. All right. I think we lost Mad Skillz, but anyway, we thank Mad Skillz for definitely joining us. It was Best Conversations podcast. It's obviously is